Good evening mga kalaro and welcome to the Council of Titos, the show on the Laro-Laro channel that talks about a different kind of game. The reality TV game show and social experiment that has run for over 2 decades, Survivor. I'm Chief Bizdak, Joel Parcon, and with me as always is Juxtapotito, Jao Atienza. What's up, Jao? How are you doing?
I suppose I should be going back to wearing this now.
Oh yes.
Let's go, Kenzie.
Your new canonical winner pick. Finally with a win.
In a manner of speaking.
In a manner of speaking, with a win. Yes, yeah. And anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit more later. With us also is the man with the puns, the man with the thoughts, Martin. Martin, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, but I can't get out of my mind if Kenzie is a dragon or a mermaid or a dragon.
He's a mermaid dragon, Martin.
Mermaid? Dragon.
Dragon.
Mermaid. Dragon.
Wow, it seems that a lot of attention is going on Kenzie for tonight. Anyway, tonight we are going to talk about the latest episode of Survivor Season 46 entitled Wackadoodle's Win. But before we begin, do consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you get updated whenever we come up with new episodes on this channel. And for those of you who don't want to have to look at our mugs whenever we talk Survivor, you can always go on to wherever you get your podcasts and search for Council of Titos. And so, without further ado, let's begin. Some of your highs, but gentlemen, what do you have? Yeah, let's start with Martin.
Look at Martin's face, man. Look at Martin's smug face.
Happy. He's so happy. His winner pick was just about to get out. Right?
To quote Drew McIntyre, I prayed for this to happen. For him to stay, not for someone to get medevac, but you know what I mean.
So like us in the Judeo-Christian tradition, like we have it wrong. Right? Because like we should actually be praying to Vishnu. This is what this episode is telling us, right?
Yeah, if anything, this is telling us who we should actually be praying to. Yeah, Banu getting saved from the clause of getting voted out.
But then Q says it was Kenzie, but you know, I don't know. It was probably Banu.
Yeah.
It's probably Banu. I mean, he got a reprieve for this episode because if once again if the what do you call this? If next time on is to be believed, Kenzie and Tiff want him out already.
Yeah.
But then again, if we go by your logic, Joe, that next time on is a red herring. And maybe they don't.
Maybe.
Then we'll get the Green Tribe.
Maybe.
For this
maybe
time.
It'll be the
This
Green
time.
Tribe. Yeah. So anyway, Banu got saved for this episode. How did that make you feel, Martin?
Oh man, like it feels like the mermaid dragon thing. It's like a roller coaster of emotions, just like Banu. Like holy smokes, it's like when he was at that island with Liz and Ben. You know, I like how Ben said it. He just said like one word, and he was pouring his heart out. You know, like Ben didn't even go Dr. Phil. So, hey, oh, you got this one and that one, and Kenji is the mastermind, and Ben's like. I'm like, wow, okay. This is minimal effort.
Yeah,
he's just laying it all out here.
He told his tribe, I that was the least amount of time that I spoke, or something like that.
Like the least amount of effort, the maximum yielding of results or info on one guy. And then no, I really like how they melded the story for like. It feels like the stages of grief for Banu. I don't know why I'm getting this. You know, it's not someone he lost. It's like this is the stages of grief had he got voted out, like his loss of the game. So first there was denial, Then there was sadness. We
Where
always
was
saw
the
the sadness
denial? Where was the denial?
that they're gonna lose again, maybe during the challenge. Like, oh, we're not gonna lose again. We're not going because I think at one point they were actually neck to neck with Nami, right?
Yeah, they
From
were
Yeah.
leading
how I saw
actually.
it. Like, yeah, Q was doing good, and then all of a sudden
No,
it
actually,
just
Nami was falling behind early in the
oh yeah,
challenge.
and then all of a sudden, like, holy shit, this was yours to win. Like, we
Yeah,
got this. We and then oh god, damn it, because we
just
all
as Banu was brought out from the claws or the jaws of getting voted out, the win was taken from
yeah,
them
the win was taken from them.
just
Like,
as
oh,
instantaneously. Yeah,
they're
Q,
so yeah,
Q.
and then
Q
the you
Q
know
with a fumble. Yeah,
Yeah.
but one thing that was a high for me there was we have our Jonathan for this season. That's gonna be
mm,
Hunter.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I
Right?
love
Yeah.
the Hunter edit, like when they were like highlighting what he's doing at camp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Was
Survivor
Yeah.
very iconic.
MacGyver.
Yeah, I like that. I like that term now, Survivor MacGyver.
But that was already given to somebody else in the past, right? Like I
I
can't
think a
remember who it was.
former winner. What's his name again? The dude with Dominic,
Oh, Wendell.
Wendell, because he was doing a lot of
Yeah, he's an
constructive.
interior designer.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
reminds me a bit of Wendell, like what Hunter was doing, and I like that. That was
Yeah, but
very
like
nice.
I think somebody in the past has been called Survivor MacGyver. And like this
The
is
second one.
yeah, the second person to be called that. I'm not sure though. Um yeah. But
Yeah.
going back to Banu, I'm totally here
Mm.
for his glorious meltdown. Like it's
Oh my god.
entertaining TV.
Yes.
But I get the feeling this is going to be no, this is a very divisive episode, and
Mhm.
it depends on how you feel about Banu,
Hmm.
right? Like
Yeah.
if you like seeing the meltdown of Banu, you love this episode. If you like to see great gameplay, you hate this episode
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
because like this episode showed us like not great gameplay at all. I mean that's why I watch Australian Survivor, right? Because that's where
Yeah.
like gameplay is always on
That's where
point,
the
you
gameplay
know.
is on point. Yeah.
Like this is um, but yeah, but the thing that I found really cool though was like yes, Banu is having his glorious meltdown,
Mhm.
but he was able to like play the game in a way by saying that he picked the White Rock.
Actually, I like
Yes,
that. That
yes.
was
I
good, right?
actually
That's the part.
I like the way how he did it and how Ben did it as well.
Yeah,
They were pretty good. They were pretty good coming up with the stories that they told.
yeah, freaking amazing Ben, right? Like,
Oh,
um, it reminds me of like as like a 5 or 6 year old like trying to talk to your mom or dad, right?
Mhm.
Where you just front load it, and then like the thing that you don't want to mention is the thing that you leave right at the very end, you know? Like, oh yeah, and I got in trouble in school, but
Yeah.
you know, right? Like you front load all of the good stuff, and then like right at the very end, like, oh,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was yeah.
Ben. Well, we didn't get too much of the other. Well, mostly the Siga tribe. We didn't get too much of them.
oh yeah. Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This episode was Nami and Yano.
Yanu.
Right?
It was Nami and Banu.
Banu.
Yeah.
Banu.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
It was
Right.
like everything in the Yanu tribe was in service of Banu's story. Heck,
Exactly.
everything, maybe like even everything in Orange tribe, or rather,
Yeah. Nami.
Nami.
yeah,
Nami.
yeah, everything with Nami was also like to serve Banu's story. You know,
Mm.
like that's kind of what
They
this
set it
entire
up that
episode feels like. Yeah,
Randon was
yeah,
starting to have that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
right. Like
Mm.
it felt like the show wasn't giving us a value neutral point of view here. Like they editorialized the end of the episode. I'm not sure if I like it, but it's something that I noticed. The show editorialized it. Like Banu stays, you're supposed to feel good,
Hmm.
right?
I don't know how I actually think about that, but anyway.
Yeah, but
uh,
like
yeah.
it's the show editorializing in a way. I mean, it's a reminder that it's a show and it doesn't and it has a point of view episode to episode.
Mhm.
You know, yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, Banu's a wackadoo. Wackadoodles win. That might be the winner quote there, right?
yeah. Oh my God, I don't. What kind of world are we living in when Martin's joke pick is the one that wins Survivor again?
Wack,
Again.
I mean, wackadoodles. I mean, yeah, it's a winner quote, but it's not a quote attributed to the winner.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I you know, yeah.
Who knows?
He's
Who knows?
the
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, but
the
I do not. I like. I don't know how I feel about the dynamic of the developing relationship between Q and Banu, right? Because Q is sort of
yeah.
coming in as a what's this? What's the name of that Afro that guy with the Afro last season? Uh,
The
Yeah.
guy who emerged as a villain type thing during the merge. Ah, shit, I forgot.
villain type? No, the guy
Caleb, Caleb,
who
Caleb.
Caleb,
Caleb.
yeah,
Yeah,
Caleb.
he's emerging as sort of like Caleb to Banu's Emily, right?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Emily Flippin,
Yeah.
and probably because they haven't seen season 45 during the filming of season 46, so he likened it to them. He likened them to being Boston Rob and
Philip.
Philip Shepard. I don't know, how would you feel being told that you're the Philip Shepard to my Boston Rob? How would you guys feel about that?
I mean, if I were Banu, I'd be like, all right, fine,
Yeah.
what do you call it? Just survive one more day. Just survive one more day. I mean, if it were me out there, and this is probably not what would actually happen if I were out there. Like, I'd probably be, I'd probably be first boot quitting because I'm having nicotine withdrawal. But um, what do you call it? Uh, the 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 game moves really fast and alliances are constantly shifting.
Mhm.
I mean, this wasn't the case in season 45, but they haven't seen 45. So, their recent experience with Survivor um was ever shifting sort of alliances. Actually 44 was also like a strong alliance that brought them to the end. Maybe I'm
Mhm.
watching too much
Me too.
Australian Survivor
Me too. Me
because
too.
Australian Survivor is all about flipping every other day.
Mhm.
Um, but it's whatever your like alliance slash relationship is today might not necessarily be the same tomorrow, right? Like, yeah, fine, I'll be the Philip if it gets me to merge, and then come merge, like I'm gonna become a butterfly or something. I don't know, whatever.
A dragon.
Yeah,
A
the dragon.
butterfly,
A dragon.
a butterfly serpent.
Yeah,
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, or like a uh uh a Garuda Phoenix. Garuda Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Uh, yeah, just come up with all of these different mythical creatures. But yeah, what about you, Martha? How would you feel if you were told that you're the Philip Shepard to someone else's Boston Rob?
Hey, if it means that the Boston Rob who said that to me doesn't see me as a threat, I'll take him out. Like while we're going to the final 2 or 3. Why not?
Hmm.
No, bring me to the merge as a goat. Bring me to the final 4 as a goat. Because before that, maybe I found someone who can, pull the wool off your eye and we vote you off before the final 4. So I'm good with that.
Okay, all right.
Mhm.
I don't know if I honestly don't think Banu even
Gets it.
got it right. Yeah, I'm not really sure how far back his fandom of the game is. or if he was even still thinking straight because he was thinking of so many things. He was so stressed
Mhm.
out by a lot of different things, right? And my heart goes out to the guy. Uh, as a show, again, we go back. We go back. Well, that's kind of, I'll expound on it later in the
Yeah.
other section of this episode.
Well, I think we have the same thought.
Yeah,
But I'm framing it as a high. But before we get into that, Marts, I have a question about like the
Yep.
whole goat, bringing a goat to the end, and the possibility of the goat, or at least the perceived goat, winning. Apart from Natalie White, has that happened to anybody else?
Well, Natalie White was supposedly the goat, but when the guy who was bringing her to the final two was being a total asshole, sorry, final three with the other dude, I think the guy's name was Mick. I keep forgetting. Whoever's the same like tribe as Russell and
Hmm.
Natalie. When you have two unlikable people with you, are you even still the goat, or did Russell make himself the goat in the long run?
Hmm.
Right? Because he vilified himself. No, hindsight's 2020. When you're talking to me here as Collins Martin, Russell was so cool to me. He's like the Wolverine of the Survivor. Because think about it. During that time, a couple of seasons before Samoa, Jeff wanted to quit. Like legit just quit. It was guys
Hmm.
like Russell, guys like boss, like Coach, guys like the next season that I think got him into the spirit of things again.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
while
I
those
don't
were
know.
the dark days, he was kind of cool to a certain segment of people.
Yeah, but then like
Looking back
to
now,
to
he
the
made
to the
himself the
point, right?
goat. He made
So like the has the path to victory through being a goat ever been successful in like
outside
the
of Natalie White.
four?
I
Yeah,
don't think it was. I don't think so.
right.
Because the even the winner picks are ever shifting. Because they keep saying she was the goat because of a bitter jury. How did you make a bitter jury?
Yeah.
you know, it didn't come out of spite. I mean, it didn't come out automatically. But I,
Mhm.
I don't think so. To answer your question, I think Nelly White will be. I don't even think she's a goat. I think she took advantage of Russell.
I mean, and I
But
will I will argue, but then this is for a different this is
Point of
probably
view,
for a
yeah.
different episode, or
yeah, yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
different type of episode. But I will argue that Natalie made Russell believe that he was dragging her to the end as a goat.
Yeah.
So her strategy is still be the goat,
Be the
kick
goat.
ass, win.
Mhm.
Like that's how I view the season, right? But neither here nor there. Um,
I think
uh,
the meta
But
just
now the
shifted
question
after
is,
Samoa.
do we think that Banu has that level of strategy in his
Oh
mind?
no. I mean,
Probably
I
not.
probably not, but I can see him do a Carolyn, like just get two more people that will stick to him, and they can,
Hmm.
if he can survive the next two episodes, get that trio, make your Three Stooges thing. You can make it to the end, and you can actually have a vote or two. You know, it
The
Mhm.
won't
path
win.
to victory that I can see, given this sort of trajectory, right? Like,
Yeah.
not, this is assuming that he doesn't have some sort of like, you know, 57D chess, like
Oh shit.
survivor
Yeah.
brain, like, and like he comes out with like the perfect game or whatever. Um, you know, the the path to the end and the path to victory that I can see for him is somebody takes him to Natalie White. Somebody takes
Yeah,
him
the
to the
Natalie
end,
White.
Mhm.
and those people are just so bitter, and the
Yes.
jury is just so bitter at whoever is there. Maybe like a Tevin or something.
Mhm.
Like
Oh yeah,
everybody's just so
Tevin
bitter
gets
because he
you
kept on
get pissed at him.
backstabbing and all of that sort of thing. That as a way to sort of get back at whoever it is. They're like, yeah, we're going to give Banu the million. But even if he doesn't, he did win 1,000,000 hearts, and he
I
probably
think he
won the
already
Sia money
did.
already.
I think
You think that he's already gotten to the 1,000,000 hearts?
I
I
have a
don't know,
feeling he
man.
already did, man.
I know
Okay,
that I know.
sure.
I'm gonna say that he's gonna get the Sia money, and that's
Yeah, I think so.
what Sia lacks in dollars, she makes up for in hearts, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Because Carson and Carolyn, they had heart, right?
Hmm.
Indeed, indeed.
Anyway,
Yeah, but how would he feel about that though? If he got money out of it all, if he's not in it for the money, he's in it for the hearts. Right? Anyway,
yeah, I forgot who it was, but during one of the Rob has a podcast after shows, they said something super interesting about Banu. The thing that like the 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 theory is that the thing that draws Banu to the game of Survivor is not so much the social strategy part of it, but the detaching oneself from it,
Oh,
from the being sort of stripped down to like your to the core of your being, that sort of thing, like very very like Eastern religion sort of um
thinking.
discover who you are in your nothingness, that sort of thing. And that could be something that's drawing Banu to Survivor. And in that moment of absolute vulnerability, that's when you make genuine human connections and win 1,000,000 hearts. And it isn't going too well, because in his most vulnerable moment, um he is not making the connections on the island that he believes ought to follow
Hmm.
the bearing of one's soul,
Yeah.
which
Uh,
is
I
which is which
think
is an interesting thought.
it's a matter of him. I think he was unlucky enough to have been put in a tribe that has three really strong game players,
yeah.
Yeah.
right? I had it in my notes that he'd been put on, say, for example, the Siga tribe, where everyone's all kumbaya. That
Yeah.
would have been where he would have liked the environment there compared to being in a tribe with a mermaid dragon, a coach, and a very competitive artist, right?
Yeah. So what we're saying is that if Banu doesn't make it past the merge, he is going to be in like Survivor 50's Second Chances Part 7 or whatever.
well, it's part of my predictions, but he might he might get lucky if a swap happens anytime soon and gets in a different tribe,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, Marts, you said you were saying something.
Um, I was trying to search if it's okay to go back to Survivor MacGyver. I think we found out who it is.
Who
The
is it?
first one was Joe Anglem, I think from Cambodia. Fistbach. Stephen Fistbach coined him as Survivor MacGyver because he's always building things. And there you go. That's Survivor MacGyver #1.
Mm.
The Joe
Okay.
guy. Yeah.
All right, Joe Anglem. Okay. Yeah. There we go. So like
Thank
Survivor
you.
MacGyver, and not just that. I mean, Hunter not only was able to make a mobile bed
I
on
know,
camp,
right? That's
right?
crazy. That's
A
crazy.
portable bed, and then that thinking during the challenge where he clung on to the ankles of Devin to in order to get himself over the barrel. Right?
yeah.
He was even Devin. I think you're gonna need to help him. He's like clutches onto his ankles and goes over. Right? That's what started them on getting there. Right? I mean, basically, it was Hunter who carried them into that.
Yeah.
I mean, he again, just like what Jonathan did to several of his tribe mates back in his season. The
Oh,
Hunter here was like he was at one point in time he was carrying Venus to the shore, right?
Mm, yeah.
Yeah. Granted that I mean that's probably not a lot of weight. She's a very frail looking young woman, but yeah, still, right? And then you have that five in a row with the sandbags. That was
Yeah, that was so clutch.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
like
so amazingly clutch.
like in the
Yeah.
fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Bases loaded. Oh wait, that's
My wife's winner pick,
basketball.
Hunter.
Oh,
Yeah, because but she was a science teacher, so it's like
Mm.
science teacher. All right, my winner pick.
yes, Hunter.
Like, okay,
It's
fine.
because it's time to play the game. Ja.
It's time to play the game. It's all about the game and how you play it.
Yeah,
Another one of
that's
the
true.
talking points, speaking about Hunter, that the internet has been talking about is would we have had a medevac if Hunter had given Randon the bed?
Oh,
Maybe.
maybe not. Maybe not.
I mean,
Because I mean, we did see the bed. It had some
oh
give.
yeah,
It stretched down. So Randon would have had. He was probably sleeping on his side. That's why pinch a nerve somewhere there.
this is side sleeping.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Um, here's the high. Here's my high that I think um that I think can also be framed as a low. But one of my like big highs for this episode is
Sure.
that Survivor the show is highlighting the difference between a fan of the show and a fan of the game.
Mm. You're treading over to my other side of the.
As I was saying,
Yeah.
this is a high that
And the low.
you know that I feel you're going to frame as a low.
As a low.
So we could save that for
No,
the
go
end
ahead,
of
go
our
ahead, go ahead, go
we
ahead.
could save that for the end of our highs section. That way it
Oh,
dovetails
okay.
nicely
All right,
into
yeah.
the lows.
Cool. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, anyway, any other highs, Marts?
A very small snippet of a scene when Banu was back at camp, right? And he's talking to what's that lady again?
Hugh, Tiff, Kenzie.
Tiff and Banu were having a heart to heart, and then Tiff was like, because he just saw Jeff. That was priceless. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a moment here? Yes, Jeff. You know, your camera guy was just there, right? Could have screwed you in.
This episode is an episode that I can see like birthing. Well, this season is going to be like the season that births a million memes. You know, like we've already we're very off to we're already off to a strong start with several, right? And now we have like Banu, and there's just a lot of
the 5, and you get
it's just there's just so much meme worthiness here.
Yeah.
Sort of this is just me trying to dovetail it into like my next high, which is Ben.
Uh-huh.
Like
what about Ben?
Just Ben.
And all of his allusions to rock. Everything everything is rock and the music and
like I genuinely thought I wouldn't like him.
Well, the two of us need look no more about Ben, man.
You know, like you know, I honestly thought I wouldn't like him as a character or as as a character on this show, in the same way that I didn't quite like Sifu as a character on this show in like the previous season. But he mentioned Nicolas Cage twice. And it's like on the one hand we have Banu talking about prayer, and like we had a scene of him like last episode where he was doing his like meditation on the beach, and there are like allusions to God and stuff. And then here's Ben talking about his idol, like Nicolas Cage.
So what does that mean? Does that equate Nicolas Cage to something out there?
Like some sort of higher power? Like I thought God was Alanis Morissette, like no, it's Nicolas Cage.
Well, I do have a friend who would agree with that, sort of agree with that sentiment. Anyway, so yeah, Ben, I like yeah, we already mentioned it. I like the way how he manipulated the information of how he didn't have a vote, right?
Yeah.
That was really cool. The way he has a way with talking with his tribe and making them believe a whole lot of things that he's saying. So
Yeah.
yeah, Ben is emerging as I think one of the more entertaining castaways to watch whenever they're on
Oh
screen.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, right? Like, I wasn't entertained by Sifu, even though they have a
Yeah,
lot of the same sort of tendencies. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was like the whole kung fu thing, because like I'm not really much of a kung fu guy.
yeah, but I
I
do
don't know
agree. I
what it
do.
was.
It there was an air about Sifu that felt insincere that you have here with Ben, who just seems so genuine, right?
There, I think that's it. I think that's it. That's also the reason that I love Banu.
Yeah.
Like yeah, they seem very sincere.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
just yeah. I agree. I agree. Ben is emerging as a favorite of mine as well to watch. Not
Mm.
necessarily someone I'd root for to win, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, do you have any other highs, Joe?
Oh, for me, no, there. Oh,
Oh.
I like the fact that we've got. I mean, among the three, Kenzie, Tiff, and Q. So far, it's Q's way of thinking that I like the most. Thinking about
Hmm.
the way that he was able to equate Banu as a liability, but
Yeah.
Kenzie as a threat, right? And to think that that's something that he actually thinks outside of the game
Yeah.
as a coach, right? So he's able to think about in that line, and I think that that's something new that he brought into the thinking of people who are in Survivor. Determine
Yeah.
who are the liabilities and who are the threats.
What's the term for it? Emergent. This is emergent gameplay.
Yeah, yeah. This isn't
Yeah.
something that's ever been discussed. I don't know. Marts, maybe you might know of something like this, but I haven't ever heard of anyone dissecting the game that way. That you've got among all of the people who you don't necessarily like to have around, there are liabilities and there are threats. So you have the liabilities, you can mold them to vote the way you want, but the threats, because you don't have no control over them, they're the ones you have to take out. Right?
Well, you can also make them into a asset because wasn't that the strategy of Tony and the others during Winners at War? They were their own threats, but they want to stick with each other first, vote out people like Boston Rob, vote out the older winners, and then it's like, you know, go all out at the end.
No, that's the concept of the shield,
The shield,
right?
yeah,
Because you
it's like
have
a
a
shield
threat.
thing.
No, it's not the threat.
Ah,
It's not
okay.
that kind of a threat. The
I see, I see.
Q's way of thinking is that because you can't control how Kenzie thinks,
Can see.
or because she plays the game at a level similar to both Q and Tiff,
But
you cannot control whether or not she's going to flip over to the other side as soon as they merge, or as soon as they get other people, as soon as she's around new people, right? That's why she's a threat. That's why she has to be taken out earlier. Whereas when you've got Banu, who is seemingly a liability, especially because
liability.
he is such a loose, not a loose cannon, but he's unable to, number one, lie.
Yep.
He's got very
To keep
loose
secrets.
lips. He
Yep.
cannot keep secrets. But then again, you can mold him. If you get his loyalty, he will vote the way that you want him to vote. Right? And that's also
Hmm.
because Banu is not necessarily playing to play. He's not
Yeah.
playing the game.
That's similar to I'm not sure if it was explicated in no, it definitely wasn't explicated explicated. It definitely wasn't explained in that way. But in the very first season of Survivor, there was that dude that was voting alphabetically.
Oh,
Remember that
Son.
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dr.
Sean was
Son.
voting
Doctors.
alphabetically. That was a liability that was turned into an asset when they
That
all
they merged because all the other people on the other tribe have their alphabets nearer to A compared to Tagi.
so it's like they used that um liability as a way to like pile their votes to get an extra number, basically.
Mm.
So like I guess we could say that it's something similar that has happened, and I'm sure there are a number of times where somebody wanting to break away from like the main alliance goes to the people on the bottom to create a new alliance to take out the people on top. But Q putting it in these terms certainly feels new to me.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I'm
It's, I mean, it's
my
probably been out there, but it's just like it's Q, basically, right? I mean, it's just like Q is the first one who actually wrote a thesis on it, but
there
it's
you go.
always been there, right?
Yeah.
Ah, the academic thesis. Ah,
Oh, thesis.
Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, so I'm except for that whole self-deprecation thing. Q is
Yeah, that
also a
was
good player to watch. I mean, the way that he thinks is also pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah, and even the way that he was during tribal. I know, not tribal. When Jeff asked him his thoughts about the result of Randon having to be medevaced and what that meant to them, and he just said it's a second chance, and he did not say outright that it was Banu's second chance because
yeah,
he had his target set on Kinsey, right?
oh yeah.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was.
So he's that whole thing about he knows how to play the game. That's what makes
yeah.
me kind of like him.
You know it's Q knows how to play the game. Hunter knows how to play the game. These are people that we wouldn't expect to know how to play the game. Banu is somebody that going in, we'd be like, maybe he does know how to play the game. No, he doesn't.
Nope. No.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. He like what you said. He might be playing 50-70 chess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's my last high.
Mm.
Um, do you guys watch Jetlag, the game?
I
From that YouTuber Half as Interesting. It's his pitch is it's what the Amazing Race could have been. It's a really good show. And something that they do very well is they they give out the game mechanics piecemeal.
Okay.
Like they give out the game, they explain the game mechanics only as they come out, at least to the audience, right? This is an editing thing, not, you know. So like to the audience, they only explain game mechanics as the need arises, right? So like they won't upfront load the first episode with just an information dump because you're not going to remember it,
Mm.
right? And so if something comes up over the course of the show that requires an explanation, uh, it requires an explanation, and the explanation is in the rules of the game, then that's the only time they will explain that game mechanic or that rule. And um, Survivor kind of did that the with the idol
The
with
beware
the beware
advantage.
advantage this week. I'm not sure if it's going to pan out, but consider this a light prediction. Um, but there is a reason that they included the line in the most recent episode about if it is unused by the merge, we will give you further instructions.
Oh yeah, yeah. Or if your if your if your tribe continues to win, you will receive further instruction. Something like that. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
If your tribe never goes to tribal, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I think you know, but like if you make it to the merge without losing, then we will give you further instructions. Like that's a question that has come up, or that's something that I certainly I've been thinking about.
Mm.
And I get the feeling that it's going to come into play soon. And the fact that they're giving it when it's well just you know the fact that they're giving it before no after they the fact that they didn't give it in a huge information dump the first time we saw
Mm.
that particular beware advantage is pretty good editing, just a tiny little nitpick. What is nitpick but good, whatever the term for that is. It's a nitpick but good.
Mhm.
A good
Mhm.
pick.
A good detail.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at least it gives Gem more agency in the game now. I mean, we've been saying that we do not know Gem. Now she's got a
Yeah.
thing.
You gotta think.
Yeah, she's going for the beware advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
so Survivor as a game is highlighting the difference between fans of the show and fans of the game.
Yes.
Joel, frame that as a low.
Framing it as a
Oh.
low. I mean, it's basically you've got. I go back to the guy that you've been saying is a high for this episode, Banu. He is definitely a fan of the show,
Oh,
right?
okay.
He said as much, right? He's a
Yeah.
fan of the show and he likes playing it, and he's on the show not necessarily for the $1 million, but for the 1 million hearts. But I don't think his fandom ever went into becoming a fan of the game, which is what Kenzie, Q, Hunter. I don't think Tiff is as much a fan as these three guys. Even maybe Tevin, maybe. I haven't really seen him do anything much as much. Even maybe Charlie, right? These guys are more fans of the game, right?
Yeah.
They play the game. They know how to play the game. Whereas you've got guys like I don't know Liz. You've got Ban. Although Liz also sort of strategizes,
Oh,
right?
you should hear Ben's exit interviews where he talks about Liz and how strategic she's been.
Ben,
Wait,
I mean,
Ben?
not Ben.
Randon.
Randon. Yeah,
Randon.
the way Randon talks about Liz, like Liz is super strategic
Mhm.
in because nobody has ever brought up her name.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, then again, they haven't gone to tribal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
but
have
then
lost.
there's
Yeah.
always but people always throw names out there, like even if they don't go to tribal, right? It's in the scramble where all of those names have been thrown out that have
Mm.
been thrown out sort of crystallize. In the beginning, like before scramble, before the immunity challenge, everybody is sending out feelers and stuff. Like her name hasn't come up in any of the feelers,
Mm.
and Randon is
And yeah.
and Randon's, Randon says that's by design. That's how Liz is playing the game.
And to think, I mean, we thought that she would be on the early outs because she always said, "I've got money." I don't think any guy. I mean, all of those things that she said that she's not really in it for the money, she's in it for the title, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I
Like
guess that's also why her threat level went down because people think that later on, no one's gonna give someone rich the $1 million, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So, like that's how Randon speaks about her. He speaks about her as being extremely strategic.
Mhm.
Um, but the wag of the finger to the show for not showing it. But then to be
Mm.
fair, they aren't showing very much else
Yeah.
besides like Banu and
Right now, it's the
Liz's
Banu. It's a Banu chapter.
yeah, it's the Banu show featuring Jeff Probst and Survivor. You know? But yeah, and her being strategic doesn't serve the story of Banu. So like
Mhm.
it wasn't shown, sorry, Randon. Um yeah. It must really suck to be Randon, you know?
Well,
Like
yeah.
you
You
have a
think that he's gonna
big
get an invite,
he should.
a re-invite like Bruce,
He should.
right?
Yeah.
What
Um
about you, Mars? Do you think that Brandon should get a re-invite for season 47, 48?
If who's the guy who if Bruce got back, I don't see
Mm-hmm.
why not. Like, come
All
on,
right.
yeah,
And
right?
but
and when he did film that last what do you call this? His sort of goodbye, his vote out video, right? He was on the island. He was
oh,
in a
so what we're
different, right?
oh, so what we're saying is that final vote out thing was actually like during the taping.
Probably. He was wearing a
So,
different colored shirt. He was
so that was the taping of Survivor 47.
47.
Mm, mm.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, Again, going back, Bano is he is such a fish out of water.
Yeah.
He is such a fish out of water. I mentioned it in the previous section, but yeah, if he had been in a tribe like maybe Siga, he would have been in a better place, right? But
Yeah.
the thing is, he's a fan of the show. I said that he's a fan of the show, but then again, the show is also a fan of his. Right? They like Banu so much because he keeps on
Yes.
talking, keeps on sharing. That's why he gets a lot
Yeah.
of screen time. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's that's me. That's me framing it as a low in that sense because I am a fan. I'm sort of more a fan of the game as more than as compared to being a fan of the show. I'm a fan of both, but I like the gameplay. That's why, just like you, Chow, I enjoy watching Survivor Australia because there's more gameplay there. Right?
Yeah.
At least in the compared to the new era of Survivor.
Mm. Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, Yanu. Yanu.
Yanu and Banu.
Yeah, I knew about it.
Any other?
No.
Oh, spill. Sorry, I just wanted to double date it because I had already mentioned Survivor Australia. Banu's journey breakdown, actually. That whole thing, that breakdown that he had with Ben and Liz, that sort of reminded me of. Sorry, spoiler alert for those of you who do not watch Survivor Australia. Raymond, not Survivor Australia.
I don't want Survivor
Right?
Australia. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
So yeah, it's sort of similar, but it comes from a different. It served a different purpose, and for me, Raymond did it well. Right. So
Oh,
that's as much as I would
Raymond
give.
is
Yeah.
she's one of my favorite from that
Yeah.
season. Ray. Not
Ray
Riri.
Ray.
Not Riri, Ray.
Ray.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
What are your lows, guys?
Yanu's gameplay as a whole, maybe with the exception of Kenzie. Let's go Kenzie. Team Kenzie. Uh yeah. Just Yanu's gameplay. I mean, like I'm here for the hot mess, you know?
Mhm.
Like this is one of the hot the most hot mess tribe that you know I can remember from watching watching Survivor. This is
Mhm.
like the hot mess tribe. I mean, certainly new era. Like
Yeah.
it's they're they're worse than like the Lulu losers.
Oh, really?
I feel like they're worse than the Lulu losers. Like there isn't very much. Yeah, it's just a meltdown, dude. Come on.
Yeah, but he didn't quit.
Yeah, but I think it's more. It's more. Yeah, and I think it's also because it's the Yanu screen time is so dominated by Banu and his meltdowns. Right? That's why I think the opinion is that they're worse off. If you really think about it, the purple tribe. I mean, the Tika tribe, also another purple tribe,
Yeah,
had a really bad run last season, right?
Oh yeah.
yeah. But they weren't a hot mess. They had the Tika
Yeah.
3, and the Tika 3 were pretty strong, right? Um,
What
and
about, what about this one? You've got the Yanu 3 of Kenzie, Q, and Tiff.
what do you
but they're
mean?
not but they're not entertaining to watch.
You're not a-
What do you,
because you're
Q said
missing
vote
one
me out.
guy.
Q was like vote me out, vote me out. Like,
Vote me out.
Yeah.
What did it say? I'm dead or something.
what Yanu 3?
What's the other
Vote me out. Come on, man. That's like, you know, he was that was a quit, and I will say Jess was tantamount to a quit.
Mm,
Wait,
yeah.
which
Do
one?
Oh well, yeah. If
Jess,
you, yeah. Of course, if you put in Jelinski and Jess as well. So yeah, this is a very, very hot mess.
right? This is the hot
Zelensky.
mess tribe. I
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
a
Of
hot pile
epic
of dung.
proportions.
I'm here for it, man.
Are you so on the level of 1 to several? What level is this?
It's several times several.
Whoa, going biblical,
I
huh?
like that.
Yes.
Right? How often should you forgive? Was it
Several
77
times several. Yeah,
several
several to several times several.
Even after episode 1, Zelensky has a legacy already in the show.
That's why he's a legend.
Oh,
That's his legacy.
God.
Several will forever have a different meaning to
Yeah.
to several Survivor fans.
It's gonna be like the word goat to the rest of the world. Goat means Michael Jordan and perhaps Taylor Swift, but to us, no.
No.
Goat means goat. But like, yeah, so several is gonna have that same
Several.
Yeah.
Here's a low. That newspaper from Q's hometown.
Yeah.
What newspaper?
When I was expecting us to
flashback?
get like a flashback thing. I was
Yeah.
expecting us to get a flashback thing, but I don't know. They didn't even. They probably weren't able to find the newspaper. Or the
Yeah.
question is it even true?
Yeah, did he make it up? Whoa. But
The Philip Shepard on this.
but yeah. I kind of liked it though, like not having the flashback, just having the sound effects. Like I found that pretty cool. It left more to the mind's eye. I'm personally not a fan of like the full-blown flashback. Yeah, find it kind of cheesy, kind of sappy. So I think like for somebody like me, what they did with Q and his him talking through his trauma with this with the producer, very worked better for me. But like as somebody that has worked in the newspaper, like dude, that headline, this kid is like in high school or whatever. Like, I don't know, man. That's like the sort of thing that leads to lawsuits.
I mean, yeah, that's low.
Right?
Now it's not a low for our show, but that's like reading. That's low of them to do it if they actually.
Yeah, that's like a low for life,
Yeah.
Like,
why scar the life of a high school student? Right?
I'm pretty sure that when he was like, I'm pretty sure that when Q was talking about how he was like the second best real estate agent or whatever in the country, he was trying to like express that as something that he was proud of, but I bet deep inside that shit scarred him. He's like, I wasn't the best. I fumbled, like I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. You're right. That was low of the newspaper to do that.
Yeah, just as somebody that once worked at a paper, like it kind of yeah, it kind of hurt me on a personal level. Like, why would you do that, paper? That's a lawsuit. Like, anyway, yeah, let's go, Kenzie. That's
Dragon.
Yeah, mermaid dragon. So much so that I asked a nice little AI software thing to generate a mermaid dragon. Yeah.
Okay. Can we see what it looks like?
I put it in our group chat, dude.
Yeah, don't worry. It's
right.
gonna be
Good.
on the screen right now. Okay.
Mermaid
Whoa.
dragon. Mermaid dragon.
All right.
I am so glad my creatives friends only listen to this on Spotify, so they would give me shit about an AI generated thing.
I am not a talented artist. I am a
Yeah.
musician. I am a Ben.
Oh, you're a Ben. Hey. And Ben. And Ben.
Yeah, I am a Ben. I am not a Tiff.
A tiff.
A tiff.
Yeah. Anyway, Marts, any other lows on your side?
Well, the only low is honestly like, getting someone pulled out of the game. That's always never a high. Like
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
that sucks because I think what would have been, it's like what would have been had Bruce, stayed with, Jan, Carolyn,
Mhm.
and Carson. I think the story hasn't even finished. So, let's go back a few minutes ago. Just like Cody Rhodes, I hope he can finish the story and come back to Survivor at the later season.
Mm.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
He might.
But I
He
feel a
might.
little bit I feel a little bit more sorry for Venus, who lost her only current
Oh
ally.
my god.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That absolutely crushed me, man. That was oh man.
Mm.
It's like uh, talking about how I when I described um Jamie from a couple of seasons ago, right? It's like when you see a puppy and all of that like violent imagery. That's how I felt when I saw Randon get yanked away from Venus. Like, dude, it's like it's like the wholesale slaughter of all the
Yeah.
puppies anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, and I mean, what I have a note here. What Yanu is experiencing as a tribe,
Yeah.
Venus is experiencing as a castaway.
yeah.
She can't
Oh man, yeah,
win.
that's so true.
Just when you thought she was already winning because Randon's there, she suddenly loses again. Right?
I,
Oh.
I hope I'm still hoping against hope that like her little confessional where she says like when we reach merge I'm going to flip, and like
Mhm.
I'm hoping that comes into fruition, and she comes back with a girl boss vengeance, because
Ooh.
like I can totally see that from her.
Mhm.
I don't know.
We'll see Mars come out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mars. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then like Venus is
She's a Roman god.
Venus is this might sound wrong coming out of my mouth because I am a dude. Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system.
Wait,
Just
Isn't it
saying.
is it
Mars?
from the sun?
No. It's because of
It
like
is.
Mercury is the closest planet to
Uh
the
huh.
sun, right? But
Uh-huh.
then Venus
How
is
many suns again? Oh, sorry, something.
Huh?
How many
There's just
suns?
one sun in our
Oh,
solar
just one
system,
sun. Yeah,
Martin.
sorry. How many moons? I'm sorry.
it's
My bad.
it's uh Venus um is Venus's atmosphere doesn't allow
Ah,
heat to
there you go.
leave.
Oh.
Oh, it traps. Okay, wow.
Yeah, it's basically like climatologists or climate scientists and stuff always point to Venus, saying like that could be the fate of Earth if we don't get our
Mm.
environment in check. So Venus, while it is the second planet from
Mhm.
the
The sun.
sun, is the hottest planet in the solar system. So Venus doesn't need Venus, the character, doesn't
Mhm.
need to become Mars. Venus is fiery enough as it is.
Okay.
Oh,
Boom.
Okay.
Where's
that's
I don't want to
nice.
drop my mic, right? Because like I paid money for this. um 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 yeah, let's pretend this penis keychain is a microphone.
There you go. Okay. Well, yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, I can see that.
I
Yeah, but
like that.
so yeah, so Venus the castaway doesn't need a Mars to uh, wreak havoc and exact revenge.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. What do you guys feel? I'm just gonna come out and say it.
Mhm.
The group idol hunt. I'm with Charlie about it. Uh, I think that it sucks. I mean,
Yeah.
Kind of does.
Siga
The
is the
point of getting
kumbaya. Yeah, Siga is the kumbaya tribe. That's why they went on a group idol hunt. But we all know that they were just putting up appearances. That's why Jem got the viewer advantage for herself.
Mm. It's like I kind of see why it happens, right? It kind of has to happen like that, because it's the way to keep everybody honest, right? It's like it's like that. How do you call it? It's um social accountability, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like accountability doesn't only come from, your authority figures, but accountability should also come from, your fellow like members of society. Like, when you're in a school, in the context of, say, being a teacher, you don't wait for the principal to like get mad at a co-teacher if you know that that co-teacher is doing something wrong, right? There's that whole fraternal correction thing. So, like, we all have to kind of watch out for each other in
Mm-hmm.
in that way. And what that does is it adjusts your behavior based on the fact that you're being watched. But then
Yeah.
you kind of have to watch in order for the faculty room to kind of function, as a place that can provide quality education to students and make them, men for others and all of that sort of thing, right? um so that's sort of why it needs to happen in the context of the show. Like, it's sort of accountability.
Yeah. I mean, we've certainly had groups or tribes that have agreed to go look for an idol, right? But it's just that with Siga, they put this entire mask of, okay, this is going to be us as a group, and we're going to look for an idol, and it's such a kumbaya thing because everyone is gonna benefit from it. And when and then we see that Gem actually found it, and she still hid it from everyone else, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's sort of like I don't want to use the teacher analogy anymore.
Okay.
Because it might incriminate. um
All right. All right.
But anyway, yeah. So it's just that because I can get along with everyone agreeing. Okay, we're all gonna look for the idol, and then if anyone finds it, whoever finds it will can do whatever, right? But
yeah,
they had this entire thing like of hey, let's go and look for an idol. Yeah, and then they go and as a group, and like for me, it was all too uh, I don't know if it's an accepted metaphor for Americans, but it's plastic, right? They're putting up appearances that they're all kumbaya, that they're all going to work with each other, right? So
yeah, yeah,
Correct.
yeah. Makes sense. It's sort of like, um it's sort of like it's sort of like company Christmas parties.
mhm.
Company Christmas parties. I Sorry, former employers. um It's like company Christmas parties. I've always seen company Christmas parties not as a time for people to get together and say how much they love each other, but it's a way for your superiors to exercise control. I would rather be at home with my loved ones.
Mhm.
But no, we have to dance to get our stupid Christmas bonuses. Mm. Mm. Pera o dignidad.
Well, I count myself lucky for not having been employed in those kinds of situations.
Same
Uh,
here.
Company Christmas parties.
Though I can say I've been through a worse Christmas party. Like it feels like we were on Survivor because there's a lot of leaks.
But
mm,
just for this is not going to mean anything to
Yeah,
people that don't know Martin personally,
yeah.
and you shouldn't, and like, gentlemen, no need to comment on what I'm about to say. But
mhm.
Martin, I am so glad that in your current employment, you don't have Christmas parties. Just know that I am so glad about that.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Moving
Okay.
on.
Speaking of putting up appearances and being, as us Filipinos would refer to it, being plastic, I found Tevin's tears during the random medevac very insincere. I mean, he's an actor. He's an actor. It was like he was putting on a show for me.
An actor.
Yeah, he had that
Yeah.
whole blocking thing where he was looking away from Randon with his eyes downcast, and then he had his hand extended towards Randon, and he had tears flowing from his eyes. Just see, this guy's putting on a show. He wants to be on screen. He
Couldn't
wants
it have been
sympathy.
couldn't it have been like the camera person, just like maybe Tevin was, genuinely like, oh man,
Yeah,
he was
man.
he was like crying and stuff, and then like the camera person was like, oh, I gotta get a good angle, because like you look at Australian Survivor and how cinematic they are. We got to be a little bit more
Yeah.
cinematic.
In your face, Australian
But
Survivor.
it is so effortless when it comes to Australian Survivor, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Or it
yeah.
could be, or do the producers in um Survivor, outside of confessional, have them do stuff again, like do second takes.
Because that, I
Uh,
mean, we have gotten word, right, that
yeah.
in
Tribal
Survivor
Council.
US, they asked to do certain stuff again because they didn't quite get the audio or something like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
right?
Like, yeah, can you say that again, or could you
Yeah.
like pose like that again? Could you like, pretend to find the idol again? Like that sort of
Yeah.
thing. So maybe he was genuinely like crying or whatever,
Yeah,
and
he
it was
was
like
like,
such an ugly cry, or maybe like, they didn't want, I don't know, and so the producers were like, yo, Tevin, can you do that again? And he's like,
"God,
I got
he's
you.
leaving my
got you."
beats, man. Really? Like,
But
Yeah.
yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see
Maybe it's
I
also
can
my
see what you
bias
mean.
because maybe it's also my bias because I mean, he did say that he's an actor, and it
we
seemed like
expect
he
him
was
to act.
acting. Right? Yeah, it
Yeah.
seemed like he was acting. That's why it seemed so insincere to me. But yeah, all three of us do have some experience in the theater. So yeah, we
Mm.
have seen that kind of a performance somewhere. Uh,
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah, it seemed so much like he blocked himself. He was off to the side. Right? And then,
Yeah.
then when I was watching it, it's like, is he on stage or something?
It's like on
It's
cue, right? It's like
no, not on cue. It
yeah.
was
Yeah.
on
On,
cue.
oh
Sorry.
yeah, he's on the other tribe. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I mean, aside as, aside from Randon, no one else cried.
Yeah.
When the was broken, right? Only Tevin had that whole post.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just okay.
Venus. Sorry, yeah. Just to put Venus would have had the most reason to cry at that point, right? Because she is seeing her only hope slip away
Yeah.
slowly,
Yeah.
right? But
Only.
no, you've got Tevin. You've got Tevin. Anyway, you were going to say something.
Yeah. Speaking of like the medevac, what do you guys um think about the implementing the Australian Survivor rule that a medevac that has to go out for like some sort of test or whatever can come back um before 24 hours have
Mhm.
lapsed. That's what happened with George in the
George.
previous
Yeah.
episode, or in the previous
Ooh.
season of Australian Survivor. Like he was out for 24 hours because he had to get
His face.
yeah. Yeah, he had
There
to.
were there were two of them, right? And then the other one didn't come back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It was Georgie who came back.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It's a case to case, I guess. If it's really
Mhm.
that bad.
No, I mean,
Or if
do you
it's
think that
really
US
that not bad.
Survivor should? I mean, yeah, if they because like what Jeff had mentioned, they needed to have an MRI of Randon's shoulder, I guess, or whatever his torso, just to figure out the extent of the damage to his body, right?
Mm.
And if they were playing by Australian Survivor rules, if they find out that it's just a pinched nerve, or it's not a slip disc, or it's not a bulging disc, do you think, Martz, he should have been allowed to come back?
Um, well, for me, just if I'm thinking about it, like on the survivor staff or producer side, just to get out of a potential lawsuit if
Mhm.
his condition worsens under our jurisdiction, maybe it's safe to just pull him out.
Mm.
Less liabilities, because we can't turn that into a vote for us. You know.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's also really something that's starkly different between Australian Survivor and Survivor US. Survivor US is so much more careful,
Yeah.
and they want to avoid, yeah, particularly that potential lawsuits. That's-
Yeah, because Americans
yeah.
famously litigious.
Yes.
So we have to prevent that.
Famously litigious. Um, what was yeah? Although it's kind of a moot point, right? Because apparently, like his arm really was out of commission, and it took him like a month
Oh
to
hell yeah.
recover or something.
Mhm.
Which which gives credence to your theory, Jonah. He's going to be coming back in 47,
Mm.
which is kind of a low. The thing that's kind of a low for me in that regard is that they made it they they made it seem as though he recovered instantly,
Mm.
and so that opened the floodgates to the conversation that we were having just now about should we allow the 24-hour rule, etc., etc. When they've already done the whole like 4 days ago in the bottom third, they could have done like 3 months later, and he was like, yeah, it took me a
True.
month to get, I don't know. I mean, it could have been like it was on a green screen or something. Um,
Just like Martin right now. Martin do
Yeah.
yeah.
Rectify.
yeah. Anyway, just a little bit of a low. Like that. It was. I don't feel like they wrapped up his story in a way that made complete sense, if if
Mm.
Yeah.
if you will. Um,
So as to come back and finish the story,
Yeah,
John.
maybe that's because his story isn't wrapped up yet.
Adrenaline
yeah, man,
in the
Survivor 47.
sauce.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be I'm here for that. That's one of our predictions, right? That's
Yeah.
that's like a that's like a unanimous like Tito prediction. Like
Yes.
this is
And,
uh this is an ex cathedra prediction.
and it we will see the payoff of this by season 47.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. This is yeah. Anyway,
Anyway, any other lows, guys?
uh eh, I'm going to be I can this isn't like a personal low, but sort of speaking on behalf of the people um who don't really like Banu. This
Okay.
episode might have been a little much.
Yeah.
you know?
It's too much Banu for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's gotta be
Dude, when
honest.
he said that, I'm not here for the $1 million, I'm here for the million hearts. That was like,
yeah. I'm here for the memes though. That's the
Me
thing.
too.
yeah.
That's why I'm really liking this season. Right? I mean, like, the gameplay is fine, Um, maybe the second episode was kind of slow. It's good that they're back to an hour and a half. That seems to be like the sweet
Mhm.
spot. But we have to remember that I'm the dude that has a phone number that is boobies. I'm the guy that got like 8008135 as a phone number. Um, so I'm here for the memes. Let's
Mhm.
just say that.
I've always been here for the memes.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. You're right. I've been holding off saying it, but thank you for saying it for me.
It's
Uh,
too much Banu.
yeah, too much fun.
Yeah, like I said earlier, this is a fairly divisive, an
Mhm.
episode that since we were talking like biblical whatever, this is something that parts like the Red Sea. On on the one hand, you have people that really love Banu, and
Mhm.
this episode is just perfect for all of the memes that one can get from it, or maybe you just really like the you just really genuinely like Banu as a human being and you identify with him, right? Or you have the people on sort of the other side of the Red Sea, or on the other side that are like, this is too much Banu. I didn't come to watch like
Banu's
an Indian soap opera, right? Like I'm here for Survivor gameplay, and you know it's it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Any other? What about you, Marks?
Now that he mentioned it, I think the low I can say is like for those who were here for Survivor, okay, fine, you pull out somebody. Maybe it would have been you could have cut some scenes out, make it like in the middle of the episode, you take out Renan, and then just in the end of the episode, have another quick immunity challenge thing, edit it to a point that you can make it on the next half. So you can have that tribal council in one episode. But I don't know. Like for those who do like the gameplay, like they got robbed of a tribal council that they wanted to see. Like what could have been, what we could have, you know, Monday night quarter, how do you call that in the America? Like backseat quarterbacking. We don't have that chance now because we don't have the tribal portion. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's a low for like, yeah, we were here for Survivor for tribal, but there's no tribal, so maybe next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I can see how that can be a look. Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Let's go, Kenzie.
Okay, let's go then to our predictions. First of all, we have whose line is it actually? So first, the title is I did get that wackadoodles win. You said the line, but it was not in the right context. So that's two for me, right?
Yeah,
Ah,
it's still you though. So that's your
It's two
point,
for me.
right? That's still
Yeah,
2 points.
yeah, man, you
Come on.
you're winning that.
yeah. I've got a pulse on who says what. All right. Uh, yeah, let's move on to next week's episode title. It is called Don't Touch the Oven. Who do you think is saying that line and why?
Soda,
Okay.
Hmm?
Why?
because someone might have heat in the Nami tribe, and I think she might allude the heat to the oven. Like, hey, don't you touch that oven?
Hmm.
Yeah, something like
That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, especially if you pair it with her already telling Venus that she's not going to hang out with her because she knows that Venus is on the outs. That's
that.
nice.
And if Venus is the hottest planet, she might have thought of that too. And then, hey, it's oven hot. Okay, yeah, don't touch that.
But it's Hunter who's the science teacher, though. Anyway, Jao, what about you? What do you got?
Don't touch the. I'm gonna say Hunter now that you mentioned it. Science
Oh,
teacher.
so the
Let's go.
science teach. So it's like one teacher and the other teacher.
Yeah.
Because Soda is special ed teacher
Yeah,
as
she's
well.
a special ed teacher.
Hmm.
Well, camp director. She's a camp director, right? That's. Hmm.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna take it in a different context. So for me, don't touch the oven. It's gonna be the mom, Maria. talking about how she
Oh.
deals with her tribe mates as if they were kids.
I'm gonna. I was actually gonna say
like
I
that.
I,
I
might- I
like
might
that.
change. I would like to change mine to Tim. Seems like the sort of
As a
thing that
dad,
he was. Yeah.
right? I mean, we're see, and especially with the next time on, where it seems as if the Green Tribe is up to no good. So
Oh.
it's like something that don't touch. If you see an oven that's on, don't touch the oven.
Yeah. But maybe it's like like right at the beginning of the next time on they have that really cool shot of them looking
Mm.
down like a hole, right?
And it was
I
sort
mean,
of horror like because they had that whole twisting shot thing
yeah,
of their
yeah.
tribe flag. I don't know.
Yeah, that whole like German expressionist kind of like
Yeah.
Dutch angle thing, right? That's actually like I don't know if that's like a quote unquote racist term, right? Because like the reason it's called Dutch angle is because they mispronounce Deutsch, because like it's something that you find in a lot of German film.
Oh,
There's
Anyway,
so it's a
um,
German invention. It's not necessarily from the Netherlands.
yeah, as far as
Oh.
as far as I um as far as I know, it's something that you find in a lot of German expressionist film, right? So it's like anyway,
Anyway.
Deutsch angle. There was the Deutsch angle. Um, Yeah, so maybe that big hole that they were like looking down is like the oven. It's like the metaphorical oven. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we can
Yeah, I'm
go
just
in that.
imagining though, that must have been like really weird to them, like looking down into that hole and seeing like a cameraman
Yeah.
or right? Like
oh yeah.
unless they hid like
A
unless they hid like
GoPro.
a GoPro in there or something. Or
Because
like
I think that
one of
they've
those
got
sorts of things.
a lot of the other cameras are like GoPros, I think, right?
Yeah, or
Or
like whatever, like compact, like smaller
yeah.
cameras, right? But that must have been really weird though. If there was like actually somebody inside there, that's that's got like it vibes, you know? Like, that scene that traumatized me as a child of like
Water
anyway.
plane. Anyway. Uh
Yeah.
any other,
Is there
anyway.
because it could also be Q. Like is there some sort of like football metaphor or whatever where like they
Talking
talk
about
about
the
the
oven.
oven is something, like or like a sports thing.
I wouldn't
This
know.
is really
Off
sad
the top
since
of my
we're
head.
on like the Sportito channel. But then
Yeah.
if anything is gonna be called the oven, it's going to either be like American football or baseball, things that we have no idea about.
No idea about.
So
Because the only thing that's remotely near to the oven, I think, is the microwave, and I think Joel knows who the microwave
Yeah, but
is.
no, that's not it. That's not it.
It's
Yeah.
not it, so it's not gonna be
yeah.
basketball.
I mean, it's like American football has a lot of those sorts of things, like the pigskin, like yeah.
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 So I don't know.
No, off the top of my head, I do not know of any conventions using the oven in American football or any sport for that matter.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There is a refrigerator, William Perry, but that's
No,
it.
but those
That's
are
all. That's
monikers.
all.
Those are
Yeah,
monikers.
those
I
are
mean, you
monikers,
don't.
right?
It's not the same. We're not talking about
Yeah.
monikers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like anyway.
Anyway,
Yeah. Let them learn.
so Martin has got who did you
Soda.
yeah, Soda saying it.
Soda. Martin has soda. I got Tim and you got Maria.
Yeah, I've got Maria. All right. Other predictions. How did we do in our predictions from last time?
Technically,
Did
I
we
got
What are our
did
mine
we have
wrong.
predictions?
did we have
Wait,
predictions?
I
what are
got
my
it
predictions?
wrong.
Martin
Because
predicted Nami would win and Siga would lose.
Ooh.
yeah,
Well, Nami
Mm,
won, but Siga didn't lose.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and I
So
did
Um,
say Yanu would win. They did not, but
ah,
technically, I also did say Yanu won't have someone be voted out at this
so
episode
you did get it
you,
because
you, you
by
gotta.
yeah,
default.
Yano technically won. They
Yeah.
themselves think it's a win, and they did not have anyone get voted out. Right?
Okay, I'll take that point.
You know, I'm gonna put this in my little notes. Miscellaneous score thingies.
Yeah.
So
Thank
Joe's
you,
already
Banu.
got like
2
I've got
points.
two for
two
the
2 points. Yeah.
for whose line.
Mart. Are we gonna
Half point, I guess.
all right, yeah, okay, fine. Martin gets a half point. Um, miscellaneous score thingies. Um, let's see. What were the other predictions that we had? I'm still holding out hope for Venus Revenge Tour. That was a
Mhm.
longish term
Yeah, that's
prediction.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the point for Yanu losing.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. Because they did.
Yeah. But then they also won in a way. But we were talking
Hey,
we were
technically,
talking
they lost. They lost.
yeah.
Um,
What else did we have? Joe gets a point for Banu's implosion. Banu implosion. Nami loses the immunity challenge.
No, that didn't happen.
And Randon gets something before tribal. Randon gets the
well, he did get something.
Randon gets
the advantage before tribal.
Oh
So,
yeah.
then he
Yeah,
gets
because
the
that
apparently,
was connected to Nami
Yeah.
losing. Yeah.
yeah. Apparently he didn't give it to Venus, or he couldn't give
Yeah.
it to Venus.
He
Which was
couldn't,
really
or
sad.
he could have.
He could have, but then
He wasn't
they
able
pulled
to.
him. Yeah, they pulled him before he could hand it to her.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the problem would have been everyone would see it, right? Or something.
I mean,
I
that
think
could have
there might
been
have been a way for him to give it over to Venus without everyone else noticing.
If the
the other
producers-
thing that he could have done was hand it to Venus in full view of everybody, so that everybody doesn't
just
vote
sitting
for her
duck
because
now.
they know she's protected.
Because they don't know what the beware advantage is all about. They don't know
Yeah,
that-
so they might be like, Venus has an idol, so
Mhm.
you know, either we flush it or we uh or we don't vote for her.
Mhm.
So, there's that. Yeah.
That's gone.
But what did happen was he wasn't able to give her the advantage apparently, but he knows where the box is because he told her where the box is.
Ooh,
Mhm. Oh,
So
nice.
do you think?
so my prediction is Venus goes to the box.
Mm.
Venus goes to the box and like tries to break it open or something.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what actually stops them if the idol is already inside?
Yeah, because we're looking at Australian Survivor, right? Australian Survivor. There was
They
a
did that.
box, and they were like, "Oh, we got to get the key." No, screw it! Like they got a rock and just
Yeah,
smashed it open.
Mark just smashed that open.
Like, all right. So, so my prediction is Venus is going to do a mark from Australian Survivor and break open that box and is going to be protected. That way she can make it to the merge and have the
Her
Venus
revenge
Revenge
tour.
Tour. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Marts? Any predictions for the next episode or future episodes?
Well, maybe hopefully I get this right this time. Yanu survives and wins the challenge. Finally. A legit challenge win, not a default challenge. Banu will still have a breakdown though.
Mhm.
But they will survive.
Oh,
Please survive. Please
okay.
survive.
All right. Well, I don't keep track of when things happen in the season. So my prediction is for the next episode we might see a swap.
Right. It can
Yeah.
be as early as fourth episode, yeah.
So we'll see a swap, and in that swap, Banu gets to a tribe that supports him, but he still gets voted out anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, because they don't see it like Q sees it. that he's a liability that can be molded to vote the way that he wants him to vote. Right?
If only they see him as a mermaid and a dragon.
That's Kenzie, dude. That's Kenzie.
You
Yeah.
know what? Screw it. Screw it. I'm gonna put this out there. So,
Mhm.
guys, stop. You're shitting on Banu. I'm going to call that this is going to be the beginning of
Of a
like the
Banner
Banu
Revenge tour.
strategic the Banu strategic 180, where
Mhm.
like he starts becoming he starts becoming a strategic like beast.
Game bot.
You know, like this is he puts he's going to put like Magnus Carlsen and Hakiru to shame, with his like amazing strategy, right? Gotham chess ain't got nothing on. This is this racist to say because he's Indian, right? Because like Indians are amazing at chess.
I don't
Um,
Oh.
know those names. I'm sorry.
yeah, like
Anyway.
yeah, like chess is quite big in India.
Mhm.
So
Eh,
d- hmm?
I
Sorry.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is gonna be the beginning of like the Banu strategy 180. Yeah.
I would like to
Mm.
see that happen. I rooted for Emily Flippin when she was able to work her game out last
Oh,
season,
right. Yeah.
right? Figure things out
Yeah.
and able to adjust. Hopefully, Banu gets over his over emotional self, right? But yeah, my prediction is he's finally gonna find that tribe that can support him and win his million hearts, but he still gets voted out. And I'm going to believe I'm not gonna think that the next time on was a red herring, and I think that there is a possibility next episode, this upcoming episode, of a green medevac, because it seems
Oh my
so
god.
much like a horror story, the way that
Ooh.
they were framing next time on, especially with the Deutsch, as Zhao has correctly stated. It's the Deutsch angle that we got from the next time on. Yeah,
Ooh.
I
So
get that
this is
feeling.
so this is gonna be another like double medevac season,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
like Matthew and Bruce.
Bruce. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's me on my predictions.
All
All
right,
right. So let's move on to survivors of the week, starting with castaway of the week. Who do you got? Don't
Banu.
tell me it's. Oh my God! Really?
Banu.
We just highlighted it in the
Banu.
notes, Joel.
Banu.
Whose episode is this? Whose episode?
This is the Banu show, man.
Yeah, it's a
This is the
Banu
Banu
show.
show. Like by definition, he's the survivor of the week. And
Like,
and even though Q says Kenzie got really lucky because it was going to be her that was voted out, it was Banu that got lucky because he probably would have gone home.
yep.
So for that, he is the survivor of the week because it's like it's like you have fail safes to make sure that like bad things don't happen, right? It's like the Swiss cheese model of aviation safety, right? Where like if one thing gets through, there's always another thing that blocks it, that sort of thing. Um, so it's like Banu could have been like kicked out of the game so many times, but he just keeps on like staying, and this was like the closest that he has been to like leaving the show, yet he's still here. So you know it, he's like for the sheer dumb luck of him like not getting voted out, I'm gonna have to put him as survivor of the week, not for any amazing strategy or whatever, but for for being the closest to getting his ass off of the island as he's ever been, but still managing to stay on. Like that's
Okay,
how I'm choosing to define survivor of the week this week.
I'll take it. I'll take it. What about you, Marts?
I mean, this is his episode. He's been the highlight of the episode for 90%. it's a disservice if I can't even say it's Banu. We're gonna get the purple to be the survivor of the week? I don't think so. It has to be Banu. It's gotta be Banu.
All right. For
the
me, I
second
will
straight
do the
week.
disservice and I will say the more sensible answer of it being Hunter. Right? Hunter MacGyvering that bed and that whole stunt with the barrel. I think that he deserves the award for
Alright.
this. The more sensible. I mean, I can see your point about how Banu has been the highlight of the episode, but for me, my definition of it is who stood out in the most positive light.
Not just merely who stood out.
Who stood
Right. All right.
out?
Yeah. So let's move over to
Alright.
goat of the week. Who please do not say also Banu.
No.
Okay, who's goat
It's
of
not
the week?
fun.
I mean, there's a case to be made for
Yeah,
Banu as being the goat of
yes.
the week, right? But I'm going to take it a different direction, and I'm going to say Venus.
Okay.
Okay.
She was the biggest loser of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Like Randon got to like hang out at Ponderosa, presumably.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like an Australian Survivor when they go to the jury villa. It's like a good number of them are like, "What the hell was I doing on the island in the first place? This is paradise." Like, so Randon was probably like, "Oh yeah, this is amazing. I get all this food and all of that sort of thing." And Venus is left like stranded. So she got um she got the poop end of the ugly stick this week.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose that's why I will call her my goat of the week. Although there is a case to be made that it's Banu as well.
All right. What about you, Mart? Who's your goat of the week?
Uh, it's weird. I wanted to say Banu, but it's the guy who said he wants Banu to be his Philip.
Oh, it's you.
Ooh, interesting,
Like,
interesting.
You go say to your tribe mates, "Oh, you gotta vote me out. I gotta quit." Why are you sad boying this moment and trying to reverse psychology your
Sad
tribe
boy.
when you're going to tribal council that night? If they can see you're just physical, but it seems like you're very much lacking in how to deal with us socially, how to deal with us strategically, unless we're Banu. This guy can be the next Wu. He'll make it to the end, but he's not gonna get any votes.
No, maybe
Ooh.
it was maybe that was like you know how Randon said that Venus was a princess, and how that
Parvati.
was or whatever, and that a princess slash Parv 2.0 or whatever, and that was
Mm.
a test for Soda, was it? Because he told Soda, and then Soda told Venus, and then Venus told him, so he knew that Soda would leak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There was a little bit of strategy behind it. Maybe that like Q has some sort of strategy. I don't know. I'm clutching at straws.
I'm sorry,
But
it's like overplaying it. Like for older Survivor fans, like you don't have to be a sass about it. Like, don't overplay your game. And like you guys are going to tribal. Now's not the time to say that.
Yeah, but I like you saying that he was sad boy. Yes, because he was sad boy.
It is a sad boy situation. Like it's so
Yeah.
annoying. Like not now. Where
Mhm.
we want to make this tribe strong, and you're saying like, "Oh, you're not strong enough now." Then okay, then go bye. Like
Yeah.
I think Tiff was in the right plan. She didn't have time for that shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will go for the go-to. And yeah, for me it is bad. Yeah, that implosion, that the fact that she basically blew up the games of Kenzie, Tiff, and Q. She blurted out everything to Ben and Liz, and now all the other tribes know their entire situation in Yanu, and then I think that we're gonna see the fallback. The fallout of this in the next episode when
Hmm.
he is again. I refer to the next time on when he says, I did a bad thing." Right? And then he's gonna blurt out exactly everything that he said to Liz and Ben, and then that's why Kenzie and Tiff are gonna be like, he needs to go. And then he gets saved though by a swap. Anyway, so yeah, that's purple of the
Yeah.
week. Who or what do we have for purple of the week this week?
Kevin.
Devin. So that whole post was not enough for you.
He didn't get like a proper confessional this week.
Yeah, he
Yeah, it
didn't. And
feels weird.
and you did mention that he was the narrative point of view for this season, right?
Yeah, like he was that's why this is the Banu story, man, because like Banu was
All over.
the narrator for
Mhm.
this episode. So this is like how you have like in a TV show or a sitcom, you have that one episode that's just kind of off to the side.
Mhm.
Like
The
sometimes it's a
bottle
bottle
episode.
episode. Yeah, sometimes
Mhm.
it's a bottle episode. Sometimes it could be like a in the case of 80s sitcoms when they talked about like teenage pregnancy and drugs
Mhm.
and stuff, was like the very special episode. Like, maybe this could be like the Survivor very special episode.
On a very special episode of Survivor. And then you got
Survivor.
Banu breaking down.
Again, my theme for this particular episode of the Council of Titos is clutching at straws.
But it still makes sense, yeah. Yeah. What do you Marts? Who or what is your purple of the week this week?
Most of the Green Tribe.
Mm.
Yeah, Green Tribe.
We have a guy.
They had 2 camp life scenes, right? Just 2.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
oh, I like you guys forgot there's 3 tribes.
I guess that's why we're
Titos.
getting, at the very least, that if we're gonna follow the next time on, we're gonna get a green centered episode next episode. Yeah. All right, I get it. But yes, I do get what you're saying, Mars. And I actually honed in on one particular Siga member, Maria. We
Who?
did not Maria, not
Who?
You gotta see her.
not Mariah,
You got
Maria.
Maria.
Who's Maria?
Ave Maria.
The mom.
Maria.
Yeah. Fine. She's the mom. I was trying to be funny. I was trying to be funny.
I know.
Like just like when my wife says, like, "What are you, deaf?" And I say, like, "Huh?"
Yeah, so we hardly. I mean, everyone. Ben was there.
Thank God
Tim
for
had
Ben.
some words of encouragement for the Yanu tribe.
Yeah.
Jem had her moment with the Beware Advantage. Charlie had his confessional. Yeah, Marie Mo. Yeah, Mo is another one who didn't really have anything to see. So yeah, it's Maria for me though. Especially we do not get any development of what she's gonna do with her advantage, her extra vote, because they didn't go to tribal anyway.
Maybe next week the plot twist is like the reason that Liz was playing so low key a game was because she actually switched with Mariah.
No.
And that's why she's a little bit more balanced in the way that she does with everyone else, because it's a different person altogether.
Yeah, it's just like the theme of the season, or like the surprise twist of the season, is that this is like Survivor 46, Prince and the Pauper, like because they already have they've already established Liz as like some sort of multi-trillionaire or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all we have to do is one of these days like explain that Mariah doesn't earn very much as a program coordinator, and they switched places, just like the classic tale of the Prince and the Pauper.
Oh my god! If that actually does happen, which I don't know, if it's gonna happen, that I I don't I don't know what to think. Uh, anyway, final thoughts, guys.
I'm
What
gonna
an
say
episode.
I'm gonna say though, that I preferred our conversation about the episode more than the actual episode.
Yeah.
True. True. In typical Tito fashion, we got to a whole other different conversation about different things. Yeah, but the episode not as strong for me as well. Not as
Yeah,
strong.
not one of their best. Not one of their
Yeah.
best, but not one of their worst. It's pretty I hate that I hate this word, but it's pretty mid.
Yeah.
I'm talking like
But
a
at
kids
least
these days.
even though we got a mid episode, we still got mermaid dragon.
Dragon.
Yeah, we still got that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's it is still spawning memes. Anyway, if there is nothing else from the council, that is it for tonight's episode. We would greatly appreciate it if you could hit the like button so we don't get voted off the channel. At any rate, this has been Joel Parkon.
I'm Zhao and go Kenzie.
I am Martin. Hope to see you guys at DexCon this weekend.
All right, we hope to see you on the council again soon. Until then, stay safe, mga kalaro. The Titos